Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. It's our Sabbath class, the 5th of November, 2022. Uh, Topic I'll be dealing with this morning, uh, later on in the class, is the rising of the Israelite nation. Okay, I'm asking everybody to go into our YouTube channel and check out Prophets of Awakening and check out our videos. You know, there's a lot of information given. The videos will connect dots for anyone that's seeking the truth, and it will bring you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures, the so-called Old Testament, Book of Remembrance. Tonight, if you like what you are hearing and receiving on the channel, on the videos, I'm asking you to like and share and subscribe to the channel. It would be appreciated. And for those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. Well, we deal with the Tanakh, so-called uh, Old Testament, Book of Remembrance, and the Torah, first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Okay, so I'm saying shalom and welcome to everybody. Welcome to our Sabbath class, Prophets Awakening Sabbath class. We're going to do our normal, which is moment of silence, Sabbath prayer. We're going to read the Psalms, and we're going to current events. Then they'll need to know information and some Q&A. And we'll deal with the topic, the rising of Israel as a nation, the reemergence. Okay, so this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and our Creator Yahweh and all that they're doing at this moment, bringing about our deliverance and removing us from the land of our oppressors and turning us back to the place in which we came. Okay, oh Lord, I pray unto the Lord my God. We make our confessions, O Lord, great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us the confusion of face as it is this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven us because of our trespass, that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil has come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas, Caribbeans, Great Britain, Africa, and all the lands abroad. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from the city of Jerusalem and thy people and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for your sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and to behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do, and defer not for thine own sake. O my Lord, for thy people and your land need you desperately at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I mentioned the fact that uh, it's was given unto us, or you can say um, it was our due to have the confusion of faith. And the reason being is that we as a nation is stiff-necked, and we rejected the Lord, the host. He was with us. He was amongst us. Like I was saying before, with people not shining the light on and not realizing that, when they make a sacrifice in the temple, he right there. It says that when they burned the incense, he had a certain way, frankincense and myrrh they had to put on that offering, and he says it goes up in his nose, the smell of it. So you can't be light years away. We know outer space and the heavens of heaven, that's light years away. So smoke and the smell of the smoke and the fragrance that's in the smoke can't go all the way up his nose. He right there. He in the temple. So because of our stiff-neckedness and our contrariness, he left. And when he left, he made sure he tore the temple down and everything around it, caused the land to be desert. That's our predicament. And can't nobody fix that but him. So that's why we in this predicament as far as a confusion of faith, rightly dividing the scripture. And you rightly dividing them. You got the spirit of the Most High on you, and the Israelites supposed to get it, but because of this right here, you got a confusion of faith. You ain't getting it. Okay, but it ain't, it's not nothing to worry about because we know we're capable of, just like he gave it to you, you can get it in. Okay. So I'm gonna read a song right quick. Okay. And then Psalm 52 is a caution to the prideful wicked. It's a Psalm of David. Okay. Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continuously. Thy tongue deviseth mischief, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Selah, thou lovest all devouring words. O thou deceitful tongue, God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away, and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. Selah, the righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made thou God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it, and I will wait on thy name, for it is good before thy saints. Okay, so let's look at that. That's not that long of a song, but a lot of stuff in it. It's on 9 verses. So we see right here, and this David talking, right? He says, and we got to get the same mindset, which is, speaking like a Hebrew, like thinking like a Hebrew. So he says in verse 9, I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it, and I will wait on thy name, for it is good before thy saints, right? So you say, somebody gonna read that, and they're not getting the impact of that. So I'm gonna give you the impact right quick. So verse 9 says, I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it, right? So what are you talking about? When he come and tell them something, he come back and do it. He comes to tell David everything he's gonna do. And David sit there and watch him do it. So let's look at an example. We in Ezekiel 37, right? Look at it. Okay, Ezekiel 37. He says that, get this card out the way, man. All right. He says in verse 12, these are dry bones, right? Therefore prophesy and say unto them, these are forefathers. These bones are forefathers. They in their graves, right? Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord, right? God, behold, O my people, I will open up your graves, and I will cause you to come up out of your graves, and I will bring you into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. When I have opened up your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and I shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land, then shall ye know. That's what David talking about. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it, and I have performed it, saith the Lord. Negroes fumbling with it. That's why David's saying that. So let's go back. And then he says, Psalms 52:9, I will praise thee because thou hast done it. See that? And that's what we're going to be doing in a minute. Contrary to what you've seen, right? For it is good before thy saints. Saints is somebody that was dead and brought back to life. That's what a saint is. We ain't no saints. We descendants from the Israelites. Saints are somebody that was died and he brought them back to life. Like in Christianity, they're talking about the fathers of Christianity. They saints. They dead. Okay, anyway. But he says, David says in verse 8, but I am a green olive tree. See that? I am a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. So he can say that because he know everything he say, he gonna perform it. Okay. Okay. So that was just want to get a little connect on it. I mean, so example. Another example is when David was taken. We see how David rolling with him, right? So he went and killed David's friend. Uzi. He killed him in front of David. And then David had to back up. So that's what he's talking about in the first couple of verses of Psalms 52. Is that's what's getting ready to happen. Everybody thinking that this situation, this reality that we in right now, this matrix is gonna last forever. We're gonna come and put a stop to it. And just like David backed off and gave him 50 feet. David thought they was big buddies. But he got the all-seeing God, the creator that's over him, that he got to answer to. You're not finna play around. When the time comes, he come and bring the pain. So he knocked that Uzi out. David had to back up and re-examine the situation. And said that from that point on, he gave him some distance. That's what's getting ready to happen now. We haven't seen no manifestations of our the God of Israel because of our stiff-neckedness. But when he come back, they're gonna see what's going on now with some of our brothers now, Hebrew Israelites. They're standing up, they're doing all kinds of stuff to them. And the thing is to humble them, to break their back, to humble them, take that pride out of them. But the days over with. And when the Most High come and break their back, they're gonna, like I said, they're not gonna believe it. They're gonna be in awe. And like I said, he already prophesied it. And he said he gonna do it. But the drama coming in that is we got our allegiance and our train of thought off on the wrong God. Okay. So with that being said, I want to deal with some current events right quick. Tie your shoes up. Okay. So the first thing I want to deal with is okay, let me get it. It's and it's a lot to do with everything we see transpiring now with, well, ever since Trump came on the scene and all that. Let me get it right quick. Okay. Here we go. See it with it. Get it. Okay. I don't know if anybody aware of this, but okay. So let me get it. So it says in Maryland, Black people are poised to occupy 4 critical positions in power. This was getting ready. This is happening. This is what he already told us. He's gonna bring them back to the forefront. Say now, Maryland voters are poised to elect a third Democrat, Wes Moore, after resoundingly rejecting Black statewide candidates for decades, except as junior partners to white men. So they've been in the back seat behind the white man all this time. Polls show Moore a former chief of an anti-poverty organization, and the U.S. Representative Anthony Brown, the Democrat, who would become the state's first black attorney general, with commanding leads heading into the election day. So that's what's coming up in the election. So you're supposed to be, you know, these clowns ain't going out. So you're going to, drama's coming. And for people that don't know, election day is on the 7th, Monday. Next day is a full solar eclipse. Okay? Anyway, it says their victories would set up a concentration of black state level power unprecedented in this country. And they would govern, and they would govern their Anthropolis, whatever that is, home to a statehood that is until 2017 featured a status of Justice Robert B. Taney, author of the 19. Okay, go keep going. All right, it says the black leaders could hold 4 top statewide offices, including state treasurer and House Speaker. Is especially significant in Maryland, one of the most diverse states in the country, and one of 2 to flip from majority white to majority non-white over the past decade. The full slate of statewide Democrats projected to win contains no white men. It's a different day, a new day in many perspectives. And some Republicans, Michael Steele, who made an unprecedented bid for the state controller in 1998 before becoming the first black person elected statewide in Maryland as a lieutenant general. So we see the, like I said, he told us he's going to flip the forces of the Gentiles and turn them toward our direction. And this ain't nothing new because he flipped it. We was in control of everything. And because of how we handled him, he flipped and turned the flow of resources and everything toward them. Okay, so it says that the projected wins for the Democrats will be also place the home state of abolitionists Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass at the vanguard of an expected nationwide trend of diversified political representation as a demographic shift. The state's Asian and Hispanic population grew as the share of black residents held steady in the recent years, according to the 2020 U.S. Census data, which show that the majority of Marylanders now identify as people of color. Okay, so like I said, all this they already see all this, but we too caught up in trying to paying bills and all that. We ain't paying attention to this, but they see what's happening, and it's been started. Okay. Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? Okay, got another one right here. This ought to get some people talking. Let me introduce myself right quick. Shalom. 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 Okay, so this one right here that I thought was pretty interesting. Let me get it. Okay. Okay. So here we go. So what happened right here is this little lady right here, she's looking for a husband, right? I think she's some kind of YouTube influencer or whatever. But it says, the title is, a woman says she found a husband by being submissive to men and gets slammed by other women online, right? So let's look at what happened. See, there's an ongoing debate about how TikToker Ayla Vila became submissive to marry her husband. The controversy has become viral and garnered a lot of attention. In a video originally shared to another TikTok account before Villa reposted it to her own account, she shares in a video how she landed her current husband. She claims she loves her husband for a living and found a man by being submissive When asked by her friends how she got such a job, Vila responded with the changes she made in herself. Vila said, "I became a better human being, and I became feminine and also shockingly submissive." Right. So let's look at what happened when she done that. Vila added that being a housewife is like it's like any other job. Women must obey their husbands in order to flourish in this career. You need a man to hire you. You need a man to hire you for it, but that's okay. If you think about it, you submit to your job to your boss who makes you clean stupid shelves at your retail job. Villa explained. Wouldn't it be better if you were cleaning your own shelves at home? A piece of advice, a piece a piece of advice for other women who want to pursue the same route as Villa. She claimed that they have to work for the men they want to pursue. Okay, we want to keep going. Got a little more on here. All right, it says being a housewife is a valid and important path in life, but it's understandably many were hurt by Villa's comments. Staying at home and doing valuable work in the home shouldn't have to mean submitting to a man. Many housewives are still uh, autonomous, independent women with their own important goals. Many people felt that she was ruining her life and shouldn't be dependent on someone else for her own survival. This promotes laziness. It shows a lack of ambition. Strives for better goals. One user wrote. Another wrote, "There is no way I'll be submissive to any man, provider or not." Let's go back to the situation I just said. There's gonna come a point when the creator come back, right? Just like with David. What you see him do, you're gonna have to eat this. Say another user wrote, "There is no way I'll be submissive to any man provided or not." After all that criticism, Villa video was covered by a YouTuber, Chessa Z, along with Villa's video. It includes some other let me get it. Along with Villa's video, it includes some other videos where she responded to some hate comments. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay, well, let me read this. It says, some people defended the TikToker for her decision. People admired Villa's attitude and felt that all criticism was unnecessary. Even if her decision is frowned upon, it was still her choice to make. Right? One user wrote, "As a successful woman who worked hard to get what she wants, I completely agree with this woman. She has chosen this lifestyle. Right? It makes her happy. The whole point of life isn't it? It's working out for her. Stop judging." I think she's a phenomenal phenomenon. She found someone that she loves and is willing to work for and strive in life. That's a beautiful thing. She also stated that she gets everything she wants. That also a very beautiful thing. One person come in. Okay, anybody got any comments on that? Okay, no comments. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. No, really,
No
no,
comments.
no comment. I mean, as a Hebrew Israelite woman, I don't want to speak for all women, but there are a lot of women out there that is, thinking the same way she is, and doing the same things.
Right.
Um, Again, we are trying to compare the black woman to the white woman. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We are oppressed as black women, just like the black man. So, I mean, we are trying and working just as hard to be that submissive helpmeet to our Hebrew Israelite brothers, not just any Hebrew Israelite brother, a righteous Hebrew Israelite. Um, like I said, I was on Clubhouse the other day and they had a topic about that, being submissive the brothers that was in the camps and so forth. And now understanding there is a big difference just because someone is, a man is saying they are a Hebrew Israelite. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You gotta, you know, get to know a person, not just because you see them in a camp with the title, you're thinking they are correct in the way
Right.
that they're doing things. And these women were ending up in the camps with these men, and they were being beaten on, verbally abused, and so forth. So, like you say, it's end times here.
Right.
It really is. The end times are here. And as Hebrew Israelite women, we got to get it right. We got to stop being so haughty. You know, uh, the righteous Hebrew Israelite men, they need us and we need them. We have been torn apart for too long.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank
And
you.
then right. Yeah. We in an age where rent to own. We in that rent to own age. You can go get it and pay for it later. You know, and
Right.
that's that right there. And that's not what I just read. Somebody had something.
No, that was my grandbaby.
Okay. All right. We in that age, but I was showing. You see how in the scriptures how they have a dream. The angel bring the dream, give them an understanding of it. Then they tarry and wait on the dream to come pass. So that's what you have to understand about. It's the same way now. If you a man or a woman, you gotta know he made you different. So he's gonna bring you a mate. It's in his own time, but you in a rent your own mindset, and you want to go grab something, do it on your own.
Right.
So you notice how when Abraham, right? I was dealing with this last night. That people don't understand because the New Testament how it's an order in place. It's Lord. Lord ain't nothing but master. So
Right.
uh so Abraham got a servant. He don't have no son yet. Well, he didn't have a son, but he had this servant, his lead servant. His lead servant loved Abraham. Abraham did him right. And so he told him, I finally got me a son, Isaac. I'm gonna send you. Put your hand on my thigh, on the inside of my thigh, and swear unto me that you're gonna find him a right woman when you go looking for her. So he did all that. And on his way there, he prayed to he prayed to the Lord of hosts. Why? Because he seen Abraham doing it. And then he asked him, send me to the right person. Did you get the right person for my Lord? So as soon as he got there, he went right to the water trough. Here come Rebecca out there
Right.
with the water trough. That's how the Most High work. But
Yes.
like I said, we in that rent own mindset. When you got same thing with the scriptures, because the scriptures gonna come. Then when you start doing what you gonna do, you gonna bring the you gonna bring the right you gonna bring the right person right down the pipe, bring the truth to you.
Yes, sir.
You ain't got to fumble with it. And then, but
Yes.
we in a place where when they come, you being contentious. When the person that came, they ain't they ain't gonna even bust a grape. They ain't gonna hurt a fly. But you said being contentious. That ain't how they work. So we've been
Yes.
taking off the wrong track. We've been just
Right.
taking off mentally off the wrong track. Like I said before, what sense does it make? You got a book that your forefather, one of your descendants wrote, one of your uh, forefathers wrote, and not only that particular forefather was taken off the earth. How many Negroes was taken off the earth and brought to heaven? So he was taken off the earth, brought to heaven, given a book, and then told him to bring it back down there and give it to your descendants. You got another book by King James, ain't got nothing to do with you. He ain't not your lineage. But you put more emphasis on what he gave you than what your descendant gave you that was taken up to heaven.
Hallelujah.
So let that firmate. Okay, is that
Right.
something?
And Brother Leonard, I was hearing you was reading the comment that the women were saying that no matter what, they were not going to be, submissive to, no man, right?
Right, right.
That's gonna come to an end.
Oh yeah,
As women, especially Hebrew Israelite women coming out of the worldly sauce, we have to realize that we need to be under the covenant.
right,
We are still not in the right place if we are not under a covenant with the
right,
righteous Hebrew Israelite man.
right,
We're out here trying to teach ourselves, and we're off
right,
track, and it's not good because we are still having that spirit that is on us that's not righteous.
right. Yeah,
It's not the fact of, you got to look at it, like you say, biblically, in the order. There is an order.
right,
Like you said, Abraham was good to Sarah. He was good to his servants.
right,
And you got to, I'll take all of that into account. But being in the worldly sauce, we have been connected to people, the wrong people, shall I say, for
mm,
so long that we don't even recognize when the right people come along.
right. Exactly. Just a disconnect.
Yeah, it's a disconnect, but it's gonna be a change for all of that. So this is to the Hebrew Israelite women. We got to get it right.
Right,
We got to get it right.
right. So let's look at this right quick. This was crazy. Like just like I just mentioned about you got an ancestor that was taken up and given a book, but you ain't dealing with him. You still quoting out from people that he done told you that they're your enemies. They had nothing to do with you, but you quoting what he gave you. So I'm over here in Daniel, right? And I was showing you how that. Well, first of all, you go to Genesis chapter 6. Uh, it said they didn't trick you off on the roles of these angels and what these angels the role they play in the scriptures. So they put sons of God in that chapter 6, and you got most Hebrew Israelites based on, like I said, they reading and dealing with uh, understandings and ideologies from somebody that didn't even descend from them, contrary to somebody that they ascended from that's giving them information. So they want to say that those sons of God ain't angels. So when you hear somebody say that, that means that they rejecting everything in the scriptures and the flow of scriptures. These angels are the one reason we got the scriptures. They brought them to the prophets. So he go a prime example. The angel showed up in Daniel chapter 10. Look at what with the effect. It's a reason why he's Lord. It's a reason why they're greater than us. So let's look at what happened. I'm in Daniel chapter 10, verse 7. I, Daniel, was alone and saw this vision. It's an angel bringing the vision for those that don't know. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. So these men that fled and hid, he ain't coming to them. Let's look at the order. Yahweh told Michael something, and Michael told Gabriel, go to Daniel. So this angel coming to Daniel, not these other men. So they able to flee and run because he ain't coming to them. He came to Daniel. Look what happened. 8. Therefore, I was left alone. See that? The other was gone. I was left alone, and I saw this great vision. And there remained no strength in me. And my comeliness was turned into corruption, and I retained no strength. He done lost all his strength. So imagine you sitting there talking about, I ain't dealing with no angels. Come on, you got to eat that. So he says, therefore I was left alone, and I saw a great vision, and there remained in me no strength. For my comeliness was turned to me into corruption, and I restrained no strength. I retained no strength. Yet I heard his words, so he done neutralized it, because he can't do nothing. He's limp. He's just there. But all he can do is hear, right, and listen. So he says, I heard the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face to the ground. That ain't where he was at when he showed up. But when he got there, he neutralized it. Why? Because he got more power and he's a part of Daniel is a part of him. He ain't a part of Daniel. Daniel's subject to him. So when he created the woman out of the man. Come on. So then he says, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face to the ground. And behold, a hand touched me, which set me upright, set me up on my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee. Stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken these words unto me, I was stood trembling. So let's look at that. So if verse 11 hadn't happened, we see when the angel came, he went into convulsions and fell out on the ground. The angel had neutralized him. So imagine if verse 11, he don't perform verse 11. Verse 11 says, and he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words I speak unto thee, and stand upright. So imagine if he wouldn't have done that. Where Daniel be? On the ground, with his face to the ground, limp. See that?
Oh, yes, sir. Come on.
So let that ferment. Okay? So you crazy as hell to be talking about them ain't no sons of God and they ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You trying to read the scriptures without including them. So guess what? If you doing that, you just like Daniel was. You're on the ground with your face to the ground, limp. Dope. Come on. All right. So let's look at that. Let's go to let that ferment. Okay. So I'm doing a little need to know information right here. This I'll play the video and then we'll go into we'll break it down. Okay.
Shalom alaikum, family, people of the world. Um, Today's topic, family, I want to cover the word Semitic, because this word been flying around in the media lately, dealing with certain brothers out there, and it's dealing with anti-Semitic. So we want to dive into the word anti-Semitic and what it really means, and we're going to see and prove by the definition of this word if the brothers are anti-Semitic. So let's dive in. All right, first of all, family, the word anti. The word anti means to be against, or hostile towards, or opposite towards, right? And you can find these you can find these definitions in dictionaries such as the New Webster's World College Dictionary, 4th edition, just about any other dictionary, but you have to be careful because these dictionaries, they'll mix it up on, especially newer modern ones, especially the brothers and sisters that's waking up. So, they're trying to water it down. But, okay, moving right along. So now we know that the word anti means to be against. Semitic. The word Semitic comes from the Hebrew word Shem, meaning descendants of Shem. This is where the word Semitic comes from. So, to get a proper understanding, who are the Shemites, we have to dive into the scriptures. And I'm going to just read a few. I'm not going to read them, but I'm going to just quote the scriptures for the video's sake. It'll be too long, but I'm going to quote these scriptures, family, and you can go in yourself and study these scriptures and read them for yourself. All right. Now, the first scripture we're going to cover dealing with Shem, we're coming from the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 10 through 27. You can read that concerning the bloodline of Shem. It's going to outline the bloodline of Shem. And you go on to now Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. It's telling you who Abraham is. It says that Abraham was a Hebrew by nationality. Now we go on to the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verse 2 through 3. Abraham's son Isaac. So we all know the story. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, which became known as the 12 tribes of Israel. And one of those tribes, Yahweh chose to be the ruler forever. 2 Chronicles 28:4. And that was Judah. Now, Judah's from the same tribe of Israel, right? Abraham is their forefather, which is a Hebrew. So let's find out who Judah is. Now, if you go to Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2, it's tell you who Judah is and what color he is. It's identifying Judah, right? I know you have a lot of people going to comment on this video saying that, oh, color doesn't matter. Okay, if color doesn't matter, then you won't mind us identifying the true Hebrews, right? The Semitic people. Because it always be a fault when the so-called black man of America comes to identify himself. First thing everybody wants to scream, oh, color doesn't matter, but it's all right for you to portray that other image, right? Moving right along. All right, David was the king of Judah. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verses 1 through 12, right? And 13. David had a son, Solomon. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Solomon identified his color. Say, I am black unto the ground. Right? Moving right along. Now, Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 19 says that the cities of the south shall be shut up, and Judah shall be carried into captivity. Right? So before we dive off into Judah being led into captivity, we want to kind of like backtrack and find out what the word Semitic means. So we're going to go to the dictionary. We're going to go to the Webster's New World College Dictionary, 4th edition, and read what Semitic is. Semite, a person regarded as descendant from Shem, a member of any of the peoples speaking Semitic language, including the Hebrews, Arabs, Assyrian, and Phoenicians. So here we see that word Semitic comes from the people Shem. And we just outlined the bloodline of Shem back in Genesis chapter 11. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel and had 12 sons, became the 12 tribes of Israel, whom all was black by color. If you want to identify these people with woolly hair, right? This is where the Messiah comes from, the tribe of Judah. Okay, so moving right along. Now, for a brother to be anti-Semitic, that would means that he would be going against himself, or against his people. You know, so, and people want to attack these brothers, you know, due to their status and things of that nature, and try to justify that they making anti-Semitic remarks when they know that's a lie. You know who the true Shemites is, you know? So, once again, they can't be anti-Semitic. They are the Semitic people. So how can they be Semitic, anti-Semitic? You know? The enemy teaches us that the term Jew, which is derived from the word Hebrew, the tribe of Yehuda, right? Now, if you go back and study that word Jew, you're going to see where it derived from. It derives from the term Judah, which is Yehuda in Hebrew. Now, it didn't say Abraham was a Jew. It said Abraham was a Hebrew, right? So let's get that straight according to the book. If you want to know the truth, go to the book. not lead on your own understanding and have people talk the world that the term Jew are the chosen people. It didn't say that. The scriptures don't say that. It said Hebrew. So let's get them facts straight concerning the Hebrew people. So now we all know the prophecy what Yahweh told Abraham concerning his seed will be in a strange land for 400 years in the servitude. And we can find that in the book of Genesis chapter 15, verse 13, which reads, And he, Yuhewave, said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So that's prophecy. And no, it wasn't the 400 years that we was in the land of Canaan. I mean, Egypt. That was not servitude in the land of Egypt. If you go back and do some research and study of that story, you would come to find out that we was ruling in Egypt, in the land of Goshen in Egypt. And bondage was probably no more than probably about 100 or 80 years, if I'm correct, from my studies that I did on that. But it had nothing to do with the land of Egypt. That was the prophecy. And if you go off in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, which outlined that we would come by ships. We the only people that came to a strange land on ships by force. So that identifies Abraham. And off in Genesis 14:13, it says that Abraham was a Hebrew, and I will read it. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham, the Hebrew. So Abraham is Hebrew. No matter how you want to put it, how you want to say, or how you feel all about it. Abraham is Hebrew. His descendants are Hebrews. So, you know, the king of Egypt back in 1958, I forgot exactly what his name was, but he made a statement saying that he used the term Jew, but he was referring to the Hebrews. He said the Jews left Israel black and they came back white. So our brothers off in the Middle East, they know who we are. Matter of fact, all nations know who we are. They just kept it a secret until Yahweh came and released that seal. And then they got scared and worried because Judah was waking up. So, but yeah, our brothers over in the Middle East, they know who we are, and they know that those people over there in that land is imposters and it's not their land. So
Okay. Any comments on that?
Okay, Brother Leonard, let's put it on the record this morning. OMG. Okay, so it's two questions that I have out of that, and I know that you're gonna break it down and make it clear, right?
Right. Okay.
First, I'm not understanding the Jew out of Judah,
Right.
because in Genesis, when you look at Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right, and out of Japheth lineage is Azanazik, right?
Right.
So look at that. I need you to explain that to me because I'm not understanding where that's coming from.
The Ashkenazi part of it?
Yes,
Yeah,
like I understand that, but how are they tying Jew to Judah?
Right. I got a video for when I go to Q&A.
Okay.
I believe he's gonna answer that. But
Okay.
but the trick to another thing about that, like I'm saying, I really when I'm conversating with people, they're not it ain't registered. But like I said, they say, see, they didn't. That's what the New Testament is. They came and concoct. Jesus is Serapis. Serapis is Horus. So when they created him, these Greeks, this come out of the mind of the Greeks, the Europeans, right, which is Cain descendants, created Jesus, and then they superimposed him in the Old Testament, and they saying, all they doing is telling you that he's the Son of God.
Right.
He ain't the Son of God, and then they created a whole narrative around it. So guess what? This is my question, this is my thing. Was we known for football, basketball? We know most all we get our people got status now for rapping, football, basketball, right? And brother just broke down who the Hebrews were. Jeremiah wasn't playing no basketball. Hosea wasn't playing no basketball. Why we playing basketball? They created basketball. That's why we start playing basketball.
Right.
So they created JC. That's why the only reason you're talking about him is they created it. Enoch wasn't playing no basketball. See what I'm saying? So they superimpose this on us, and we listening to it and quoting it and regurgitating it because they gave it to you. So you can't. All you gotta do is write the word write the word Israelite on a piece of paper and the word Jew. How the hell is the same?
Right.
And all you gotta do is look at it. It ain't the same. But they didn't create a narrative and got you saying Jew is tied to the nation of Judah. That's a lie from the pits of hell. So like I'm saying, when you do your research, JC ain't no son of God. And then all you have to do is go to Matthew. And Matthew say, he talking about that as it was written by the prophet, but he don't tell you the prophet is. So you find out who the prophet is and go to it's Hosea. And Hosea tell you Israel, the nation of Israel is the son. That was the original understanding, thinking like a Hebrew. Is a Hebrew told you that. I went out for Hosea told you, being a Hebrew, that Israel is the son. These Greeks came and wrote in Matthew. Matthew a Greek. Matthew a Edomite, and tell you that Jesus is the son. So back to like I said before, who you gonna believe? You gonna believe what some Gentile Greek told you? We already looking at their track record. So, you gonna believe what Hosea told you, a Hebrew? But that's how they he told us in Deuteronomy 28. One of the curses is that they're gonna put a yoke of iron around your neck until they done programmed you and reconstructed your mind. Then they're gonna take the yoke off.
Wow. Yes.
That's where we at. They took the yoke off, but they done reprogrammed your brain. You ain't thinking like no Hebrew. See what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said before, how can you dung? It's dung all around the cross. Everything leading up to the cross is, you can see it, it's propaganda. But the cross and the person on the cross is legitimate. It's shit everywhere else around it, but the cross and the person on the cross is legitimate. You can't. There's something wrong with your brain if you can't see that. Don't ain't how it works. Okay. Yeah. So and like I said, it's something as simple as Elohim. Elohim, point blank, is angels. It's a plural word for El. Well, just so happened, not just the righteous angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, have El in their name, but all the wicked ones that came down to 200 that came down in the book of Enoch. They got El on the end of their name. So Yahweh ain't no El. You can't associate that word with the creator. He ain't no El. He created the Els. So that changed the whole narrative right there. If you're trying to write and divide the scriptures, Yahweh ain't no El. So why is he ain't no El? Because he's a consuming fire. He'll burn your ass up when you come around him. So he had to create these Els to deal with you. And then he in particular, the first one he created, he put him over Israel. He can't deal with no humans. He's a consuming fire. Let's look at that right quick before we move on. So I'm in Ezekiel chapter 1. Then, like I said, this is as profound as it is, it's 101. This Hebrew 101. Okay, so let's look at it. It says 20. First of all, Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. The scripture lets you know. I don't care what is written in Greek or Phoenician, whatever. But it's telling you, I looked and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, a fire enfolding itself. Brightness was about it, and out of the midst of it, over the color of amber, and out of the midst of it was fire. Then verse 5. Also, Out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures. So it ain't just Yahweh in the cloud. Got to get that. Got to get that in your head. Ain't no sun in the cloud, huh? Ain't no Yahweh shine in the cloud. Okay. So then you go to verse 25. These four creatures, and there was a voice from a firmament that was over their head, over these four creatures' head, when they stood and let down their wings, right? And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, right? And as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of a man above upon it. So this is who created out mankind. This is who created angels. How we know that? They look like him. They in the shape of a man. They got arms and legs. Right here. It's 27. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward, I saw as it were the appearance of fire. And it had appearance round about it. See that? So this is Yahweh. There's no flesh on him because he can't deal with flesh. He'll consume fire. So he had to make these other angels. He had to make he created some angels, but he had to make these seven so he can deal with mankind. He can't deal with mankind because you come up there with, you got like they say, you got bones in your closet. You can come up there around him if you want to and got some bones in your closet. You're going to get burned up. So we had to create these angels to deal with mankind. In particular, the Lord of hosts. He doing his bidding for him so they can talk to him. We already see how nasty he is. He ain't going for the okie doke. What you think going to happen if you come around the creator? You're going to go up in smokes. So that's why you create these seven beings. And then here you is, based on listening to what these clowns that told you, you excluding them out of the conversation. You excluding them out of the understanding. And then you wondering why you can't, like I just read, under us is a confusion of faith. That's the reason why you got a confusion of faith. You ain't ready to divide what's going on with the scriptures. He can't come nowhere and talk to nobody. Because of who he is, you're going to go up in smoke. And like I said before, ain't no sun there. Shit, ain't no two thrones. These angels ain't told no two thrones. Ain't no sun with him. Ain't no sun hid in the cloud. Come on. All right? So that's like I said, that's based on what happened to us, you would think that's something that's profound. But it's 2022. That's Hebrew 101. You ain't got the 104 and 105. You ain't got that yet. That's the foundation, the basics. Okay? Yeah. So, anybody got any comments on that? Yeah, so what happened is I was in a conversation last night with on Clubhouse, right? And they created these Kingston created these codes. Now that all they gotta do is get close around heat. You get anywhere around some heat, they start lightening up. So that's what the creator did to me. If I get anywhere around some heat, I'm gonna light up. So I got lit up last night and I couldn't put it out. I had to come here on the Sabbath class. I'm still on fire. Okay? So we got to
Hallelujah. Come on.
excuse that. Okay? All right. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions or comments that they want to bring out something?
Yes, I just,
What's up, Mike? Go ahead.
sorry, excuse me, a little bit of both, right? And like you said last night, on Clubhouse, great conversation, right? But
Okay.
the thing is that I was not understanding, and from coming into the truth and getting all of this blessing and this great knowledge that I have been receiving, being connected to prophets of awakening and so forth, right? When
Right.
you understand the order, right?
Right.
And the woman is the rib, right? And the man is black, right?
Right.
The woman is black.
Right.
But some men are not understanding that their Lord is black. So how can you keep saying that the Most High is white, you're black, your mate is black, your children are black?
Right.
You know, I'm not. That just was not registering to me when you say, and you were saying, you know, we got to follow the order. We got to do some research. They're not understanding, you know, where JC um, come from. You know, they don't go any further. They just take what has been taught to them
Right.
by the people that is oppressing us. I'm not. It's just not coming together um, for me when, like you said, that's 101. It's simple when you're really into the truth.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at a video. Matter of fact, yesterday, uh, and it was this guy was he had a crocodile farm. He had these crocodiles. So anybody that know anything about crocodiles, you know, you got alligators, but you got crocodiles too. That crocodile that which is originated over in Africa, he ain't that nice. The one that's in the wild. This dude got a farm, and he dictating. You know, it was amazing to me. He dictating what these crocodiles do. It's like four of them come up out the water. He come there, he feed them all the time, right? He got these chickens cut up into leg quarters and stuff. And so he raised it up. All four of them try to run on them at the same time, and he throw his hand up and they stop. And then he'll tell which one of them he want to eat the leg quarter, and the other three sit there and they don't move. And then the other one come up and eat it. Then he take another now and he do the same thing. He dictating what they do. So it's no different than that than what the Most High said. He gonna put a yoke of iron around your neck. He gonna put a yoke of iron around your neck, and once he gets you trained, he gonna take the iron off your neck. That's all that is. So, like I said before, you instead of regurgitating something that the man gave you. So when you come across a Israelite that the Most High done dealt with, like you say, Shem was Melchizedek, Canaan was Melchizedek. Who taught them? The Lord of hosts. These angels taught them. So who taught? Where you getting your information from? You ain't getting it from the angels. It ain't come to you like that. You getting it from you getting it from what they didn't eliminated the understanding of who these angels are. They gave you the information. And all you doing is regurgitating it. So you asking me, how can I go in there and read something that Negroes been reading for 1,000 years and get what I get out of it? Cause them the Most High to line it back up. I ain't found out I was no Hebrew Israelite on YouTube. I ain't found all this stuff out on accident. Okay, that's how they go. I was visitations. That's what jumped it off. And then I went into with the zeal that was given to me, went into the scriptures dealing with it. But the same person that taught them is this, leading you through the situation. You ain't read the scriptures with the way you ain't read the scriptures with what the oppressor gave you. You trying to read it with what the oppressor gave you. Like I said before, all you gotta do is take the word Israelite and the word Jew and put them on a piece of paper. Yeah, you can add up the words and see they're the same. It's two different types of people. And then you start doing your due diligence. You see, in 70 AD, the white ones went into Europe. That's where Paul went. Paul went to Europe. All four of Paul's journeys in Europe. Well, who came back in 70 AD? Who came back in 1948? Them Jews over there that went to Europe. Where the Israelite went? He went to Africa. Israelite and Jew, two different words. You can't say Judah. Jew is originated from the word Judah. That's what the clowns told you. But the semantics of it ain't what it is. And it's crazy. And so you to sit there and hear somebody trying to do that, I mean, it's aggravating. Come on, it's aggravating. Just like I said, to raise up Yahushua. Keep trying to, you said if you breaking, you giving them 3,000 years worth of golden nuggets, and they started trying to raise Yahushua up. Come on, go ahead. You got
No,
something?
sir, I was just gonna say, now that that iron is off of our neck, right?
Right.
They think that, you know, we are trained, okay?
Oh yeah.
As soon as you know you go against everything, right?
Right.
No JC, the whole 9 yards. You got brothers and sisters. Oh, you being disobedient,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
and then they try to punish you for being disobedient.
Right.
You know, shut you down, take money from you, so forth, right? Because
Right.
you're not following the narrative.
Right.
It's time out for that.
Right. Oh yeah. And it's not on my timing or no or the president timing.
Right.
We got a creator that already prophesied this, and I showed you how he said, I'm telling you, I'm giving you heads up. It's coming down the pipe, and when it comes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna perform.
Yes. For I am the Lord, I change not. Come on
Yeah.
now. Yes.
That's how they
Hallelujah.
go. Right. Yeah. Anybody else got any comments on that? Okay. So, like I said, I opened up for some Q&A, and anybody have any comments on about something they came across or something they saw on YouTube in the news they want to expound on? Okay, so I'm gonna play this I'm hoping to help you out, Michelle, on with the question you had asked. Okay.
This is a question from a few years ago from somebody else.
Yeah, this brother here is a Yahushua fan, so you gotta excuse that.
I was having a conversation with, and it says, "This is where me and you disagree. I know. I did not believe that the African American race are the true Hebrew. I believe that the Jews are in Jerusalem and in Israel now are the lineage of Abraham. Why does this movement focus on the flesh?" So I kind of ignored that part of the question because it was it's kind of like, why does this movement focus on the flesh when the other movement focuses on the flesh too? Like, there's no reason that that the Jews that are in Jerusalem and Israel now, according to their flesh, can prove that they are the lineage of Abraham. So you can't really point to their flesh and say, well, they can prove it, and then point to our flesh and say that we can't prove it because we're in the flesh. It doesn't make sense. So what I did was I just addressed his actual question. The real question is that how can you prove that who's Israel or not? Not, of course we know that Israel in the spirit is those that believe in Jesus Christ and those that are in faith. No debate there. That's obvious in the scriptures. But what we're actually addressing is who are the descendants, the physical descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And these questions are answered in prophecy in the scriptures, which is a word of prophecy. And the scriptures are the word of prophecy that we can trust. Okay, so my advice I gave was basically to forget about the angry Israelites and the sects and the camps and the people that want to fight and argue. The Bible says, "Do all things without murmuring and disputing." So anybody with the character to argue and hate and debate, you shouldn't really even deal with them. The main thing you should do is just focus on the scriptures. The prophetic scriptures are like a light in the darkness. And when you understand prophetic scriptures, everything opens up and it's completely clear. Okay, I can talk for days about the prophetic scriptures and all the revelation you can get from understanding the prophetic scriptures and how that opens up the gospel opens up the New Testament when you understand Isaiah, when you understand Daniel. Oh my goodness. When you understand Revelations and you start to put things together, everything that Jesus said makes 10 times more sense, and everything links together and it flows so perfectly. It's a beautiful picture. Again, it's hard to talk about all that in a 15-minute video, but I'm going to give you 3 quick prophecies you can look at to understand and prove that Ashkenazis are not the original Jews and that the Israelites are. And I'm not even going to talk about Deuteronomy 28 either. That's the main one, but I'm not even going to cover that one. So the first scripture you want to understand is Jeremiah 33, verse 6 through 16. And I'm addressing the fact that he said that the Jews that are in Jerusalem and Israel now are the lineage of Abraham. Okay, the scripture in Jeremiah 33, verse 6 through 16, it guarantees peace in Jerusalem after God brings his people back through Jesus. Okay, is there peace in Jerusalem now? No. Therefore, the people that are there are not the Jews. Period. End of story. Look at that scripture. That's not what's happening now. There is no peace in the Middle East now. And when God brings his people back, there will be peace. That's enough to end the video right there. Now let's check another scripture. Number 2 prophecy, Luke chapter 21, verse 20 through 24. You can read that, and it's very clear that Jesus is saying that after he leaves, and there's a certain amount of time, that there will be a scattering of the Jews, that the Roman Empire will come and destroy Jerusalem, and the people there will be scattered throughout all nations. That happened. It happened in AD 70. The Roman emperor or Roman governor came and destroyed Jerusalem, ransacked the temple. Every stone was torn down, and it actually happened. Okay, and so Jesus actually described the scattering of the tribe of Judah, the scattering of everyone that was in that nation at that time. Okay, and then he also said that Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles is fulfilled. He said that Jerusalem will be trampled by Gentiles. Gentiles are those from Genesis chapter 10. You see who the Gentiles are. Okay, these are the Europeans and the Asians. And he said that Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles from that point where Jerusalem was destroyed and the temple was destroyed until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. The times of the Gentiles are fulfilled at the return of Christ. Has Christ returned yet? No, that means we are still in the times of the Gentiles. So Jerusalem has been trampled by Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles was fulfilled. That means the people that rule Jerusalem now are not the Jews, they are Gentiles. And it's very easy to see that even if you look in Genesis chapter 10, and you can see that one of the descendants of Japheth is Ashkenaz. And who are the Jews, the main Jews that are in there now? They're Ashkenazi Jews. So they're betraying themselves with their own name to say, hey, we are Gentile Jews. And that's okay. It's okay to be a Gentile that has converted to Judaism. We're not saying that, we're not denying that they've converted to Judaism, but what we're saying is they're not the original Jews that were scattered from Jerusalem. They are Gentile Jews that have converted to Judaism. And that's it. Okay? They still have to be saved, just like we have to be saved. They have to be saved too, because you're not saved by being a Jew. You're not saved by converting to Judaism. You're saved by believing in Jesus Christ. Prophecy number 3, to understand and check if the people in Jerusalem now are God's people. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8 is talking about the stoning of the 2 witnesses and the destroying of the 2 witnesses that were killed for representing God in the last days. And he said that they were killed in Jerusalem, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So, in the last days, the city of Jerusalem is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt because it's been trampled by Gentiles ever since AD 70. And the spiritual state of Jerusalem is so corrupt that spiritually it's called Sodom in Egypt. How can it be God's city if it's spiritually called Sodom in Egypt in the last days? That means that God's people are not there. It's not God's city. The only time that Jerusalem will be the city of God again is when Yahusha, Jesus, actually returns and brings down the new city of Jerusalem from heaven. And that's what true believers are waiting for. We're not waiting for the army or the British army or the US army or the Pope to take over Jerusalem. We're waiting for Jesus Christ to take over Jerusalem. That's what we're waiting for.
Okay. Any comment? Did I help you out?
Yeah, it did, but he gonna grow hair on his head waiting on JC to come back.
Right. Yeah.
You,
That's
you
what
know what I'm saying? Like, I, again, they keep tying the old with the new. He was saying, oh, it just flow together so perfectly.
right.
No, it don't.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I played that for a reason. So, like I said before, they uh, Enoch won't play no basketball. You can't associate Enoch with basketball. Well, why is the sinners playing
Right.
basketball? They created it. So when they created JC, now they got to show you that everything in the end times is flowing around him. They took away the Lord of hosts. So that's why I'm showing you that in when you go to the Apocrypha books, uh, the book of Susanna, the book of Bel and the Dragon, and the Maccabees, that's all out of the book of Daniel. They had to displace that the cyborg it because they didn't give you the Lord of hosts, Michael, the archangel, is our mediator. He's the one between heaven and earth. He's the one we dealing with. He the one came in the cool of the day to deal with Adam in the garden. That wasn't Yahweh. He the one walked with Noah. So they displaced him. So
Mm-hmm.
then they placed him there. So now he said they got you thinking that he quoting all this, just like when they say that Jesus prophesied that what was going to happen with the temple. No, you already had that information. It happened in the third beast. Now you put it on JC to make it look like he prophesying, but all this stuff that happened when you go to the Maccabees, all doesn't happen. So like I said, you don't understand that, and you reading it. All you gonna do is you regurgitate what they gave you. You don't know nothing else. You ain't got no other insight on nothing else. So you just gonna regurgitate what they gave you. You gonna say Jesus is the Messiah, and that he the one coming back in the end. But it ain't none of him. They didn't took away the God of Israel from the scriptures. Like I said before, you think you go into the finals, the NBA finals, the Golden State Warriors gonna play the Los Angeles Lakers. You think the Golden State Warriors gonna all of a sudden make a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers and trade Steph Curry to the Lakers? Hell no. Same thing with that. They didn't did all this other stuff to keep you disoriented and confused. They gonna give you your real God? That'll be insane. How they gonna give you the real
Right.
God when they're doing everything for you not to wake up?
Right.
See what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna give you the real God. They gave you this character that you're dealing with in the New Testament, JC, and you off. That's where the confusion coming in at. Okay. Yeah. Anybody got any comments on that? Okay. Let me. I gotta get set up something right quick before I move forward. Give me 1 minute. Okay. One minute.
We wild, we on the corner, wildin' out. We ignorant, we proud. with being disobedient. The days enslaved in Egypt. Then Moses said, let my people go. Still we act like we ain't know who was our father. We didn't even bother to listen. And not to mention we blatantly worship others. We put no blood to another. We threw stones at our brothers. The neighbors trying to just bring us back to the truth. There's nothing wrong with that. Like stuff notes in the book of Acts. And all he did was take the facts. Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. We step naked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out, we ignorant, we proud, we barely us, our style. I know the keepers of the law, standing tall, staying righteous above them all. What's the call, coach? The other teams filled with many men, the small soldiers. They don't know their identity, but I do, so they envy. Cause you're a nation of people that's so rebellious. Accusers of your brother, when he speaks the truth, you get jealous. But I stay on the call with all my righteous fellas. Cause we know who we are, there's nothing else that you can tell us. Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you go. Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you go.
Okay, so yeah. So with that being said, let me get to what I gotta do right here. So like I said, the topic of the room, topic of the class is the rising of the Israelite nation. So we already prophesied that. And what I want to do is I'm gonna read a couple of chapters out of Israel based on the scenario that I talked about when I first got on here, that our God, the Lord of hosts, tell you something, then he come back and do it. And then when he do it, our forefathers rejoice over it because they know what he said he done it. So he gave us some stuff way back 3,500 years ago in the book of Isaiah about what we see transpiring today. So, I mean, it's like 4 chapters back to back in the book of Isaiah. I'm gonna read a little bit of it. It says, this is chapter 60, right? This is the future of Zion, Israel. Arise and shine, for thy light is come. The glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Yeah, not the glory of Yahweh, the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth, and gross darkness the people. We're looking at that now in all the conversations on YouTube and on prophets on Clubhouse. We see the gross darkness, right? That the Gentiles have brought forth, the gross darkness of the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they that gather themselves together, they shall come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed upon thy side. Then shalt thou see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. So let's look at that. I showed you how David was, he was happy-go-lucky. He was dealing with the Creator. He was dealing with the Lord of hosts. He was appearing to him. He dealing with him, talking to him. We see in 2 Samuel, it says, then Nathan gave him the understanding, and then David went in and sat before the Lord. So he dealing with him. He interacting with him. So he got a certain type of relationship that he think with him. But then his friend Uzi went against the Lord of hosts, and the Lord of hosts killed him right there in front of David. So David had to back up, right? Well, let's look at it right here. I just read in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 4. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and my daughters shall be nursed on the side. Here you go. We living in a Gentile matrix right now. And Esau, they concocted all this. Negroes, Hebrews think this gonna last forever, right? And the Gentiles think it's gonna last forever. But verse 5 says, then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear. Look at this. You're gonna fear like David did. He thought it was hunky-dory at first, but when he killed Uzi, he put fear in David to get his mind right. Well, these Gentiles, he says, then shalt thou see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged because, see that? Because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. He gonna shut down the system they got. That's everything flowing toward them. He gonna shut it down and convert it. And when they see that, he gonna put fear in their heart. You can't talk about your house shine no more. You can't boast no more that you the Jew and that you the people of God. Because the God of Israel has showed back up. He didn't shut down your whole program. Okay? Then 6, the multitude of the camels shall cover thee, the drummer of Midian and Ephah, and all they from Sheba shall come, and they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. And the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebat shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance upon mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. So let's look at that. So I told you Abraham, when Adam and Eve was sitting in the garden and took the fig leaves and covered itself up, that wasn't Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai ain't come to them. It wasn't Yahweh. It's the Lord of hosts came. And what did he do? He took a ram. That's the whole purpose when the ram was designed. When he created the ram, that's what he for, to go up on the altar, up on his altar. So he took a ram. He ain't make a mistake and get a ram instead of a buffalo or a hippopotamus. The ram was designed to go up on the altar to be sacrificed. So who had all the rams and the flocks and the herds? The Hebrews. So what did he do? He diverted it from us when we didn't listen. They got all the rams and the goats and everything. So we see right here, he returned it. He returned it back. 6, the multitude of camels shall cover thee, and the drummer of Midian and Ephah and Sheba shall, and they shall bring gold and incense. He gave us all that in the land of Havilah, the gold, right? And the incense, and they shall show forth the praise of the Lord. That's what they were designed for. So they wasn't, he didn't make gold for the Rothschilds or the Edomites. He made the gold for Adam and his descendants. Then verse 7, and all the flocks of Kedar shall gather themselves unto thee. The rams of Nebat, here you go. This is what was on the altar when he came in the garden and cleaned Adam up. And Eve shall minister unto thee. They shall come up on with acceptance on mine altar. Right. So how you gonna do that? You got a priesthood, the Levites. You gotta come and get the lambs back to them. Can't no Edomite make no sacrifice to him. So he got to bring it back and put everything back where it belongs. And then make it flow back like it flowed. So they can bring these clean animals and all this back to his altar and reinstitute everything that these Gentiles and cyborg. Okay? So 61, you can read the rest of it on your own. Chapter 61. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to thee, bind up the brokenhearted, and proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prisons to them that are bound. So like I said before, the Spirit of God, right? The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach. See that? To preach. This is where the problem coming in at. You coming out of seminary and all these places. The Lord ain't anointed you. The seminary anointed you. You regurgitating their understanding. So he says in 2, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, the day of vengeance of our God. It's a Moab. It's a time appointed. Too. You can fumble and talk about all you want, but when this time appointed comes, you got to kick rocks. So it says to comfort all that mourn, right? To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the old, look at this, they shall build the old places. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers, but ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles. See that? That's contrary. That's contrary to the New Testament. Okay? And in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. See that? So in this system they got, he didn't convert it to us. We're gonna glory in the system that he didn't convert it back to us. Okay? That was 61. 62. Isaiah 62. Okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth, and the Gentiles shall see. So go back to the construct that they done set up. He done brought the Gentiles in. And the Jubilees tell you that the Gentile is Israel's enemy. And he bet not catch now one of them intermingle with one of them. You got a problem with that. So it says right here, 62, for Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake will I not rest, until righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentile shall see thy righteousness, and all the kings of thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Not Yahushua, the mouth of the Lord shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, not in the hand of Yahushua, in the hand of the Lord, and a royal dividend in the hand of thy God. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken. That's where we at right now. Neither shall thy land anymore be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hezbollah, and thy land Beulah, for the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall thy God rejoice over thee. I have set watchmen upon the walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So the Lord hath sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat of thy enemies, the Gentiles, and the sons of thy strangers shall not drink thy wine, but they that have gathered it shall eat it, and the praise of the Lord, and they that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness. Go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people, cast up the highways, gather out the stones, lift up the standard for the people. Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the ends of the world, say ye to the daughters of Zion, behold, my salvation come. Behold, his reward is with thee, and his works before him. And they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. See that? We just read in Isaiah 44 who the Redeemer is. The redeemed of the Lord. What Lord? The Lord of hosts. And thou shalt be called, sought out, a city not forsaken. So I'm reading all these scriptures right here. You think the Lord of hosts give a damn about some Negro quoting out of the New Testament? Or you think he give a damn about somebody that went to seminary, or somebody that went and got a religious degree at Harvard? You don't give a damn. Look what these scriptures saying. All you're gonna do is get rolled over. That's all gonna happen. You regurgitating something that had nothing to do with his people, with the Israelites. It's like tits on a bowhog. It's rolling off like water on a duck bag. It don't mean nothing. But they didn't embed it in your head that it means something. That when you say it's supposed to move something or move a mountain or something. But like I said before, they just said it. That's all they did. They just said that and wrote it. They say JC, the Son of God. That's as far as they go. They don't go no further than that because we know that's a lie from the pits of hell. It's like I said, it's like water on a duck bag. Like I said, you think it's an accident that when you pour water on a duck, it roll off? Hell, he affiliated with the water, with the water. He go under the water. He fishing and catching fish underwater. Wouldn't it be? It'd only be natural that water gonna roll off of him. He got some kind of in his DNA where water can't hold. Water don't have nothing to do with him. It's the same thing with this. These scriptures I'm reading right here, you can't. It's what you talking about is just rolling off. Because it don't have nothing to do with it. These scriptures gonna perform and do what whoever spoke it, they gonna do it. You fumbling with it, but it ain't stopping what's coming down the pipe. Yeah. So what you need to do is you can go get you a snow cone. Cause it ain't hitting on nothing. Cause it don't line up. Okay. Yeah. So let me read some of this. So if you anybody got any comments on that? So if you been paying attention to what's going on, it ain't nothing new under the sun. So just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the Hebrew boys, Joseph in Egypt, they came up against them. The powers that be came up against them when the Mosai doing one thing and he using his people to bring it about. So we at the same situation. We in captivity now. We was in captivity in Babylon, and he all of a sudden Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out. They was in Egypt. He brought Moses, brought him out of Egypt, brought him in the wilderness, dealt with him, and took him back. And they went up against the powers that be, that was afflicting his people, right? So here we are in 2022, right? And you got the establishment is time. What I just read is starting to manifest itself, so it's time. So who he gonna use? He said, we just read, he said he going to the old path, the way he operated it back in the day. So guess what? Let's look at it. Okay, so we see right here that the NBA slaps Kyrie Irving with a major with major consequences over his controversial post. The fallout from the basketball star Kyrie Irving extremely controversial social media post isn't over quite yet. The controversy started on October 27th when Irving took a Twitter to share a link to anti-Semitic movie Hebrews and Negroes, Wake Up Black America, which is based on the book of the same name, right? Okay. He deleted the after mentioned tweet, but not without a whole lot of backlash, which according to the BBC News included some Jewish fans wearing fight anti-Semitic t-shirts and Jewish caps during the Brooklyn Nets game on October 31st. It was then announced on November 2nd that Irving and the team would both be donating $500,000 to charities to help fight division. In a statement regarding the issue, Irving said in part, per ESPN, I oppose all forms of hatred and oppression and stand strong with the communities that are marginalized and impacted every day. He then added, so for my family and I, we are meant no harm to any one group, race or religion of people, and wish to only uh, be a beacon of truth and light. But these things have now taken another turn as the NBA has hit the basketballer with another serious consequence that could affect his career. Okay, let's look at it. It says, Kyrie Irving has been suspended for 5 Brooklyn Nets games, right? On November 3rd, Brooklyn Nets confirmed Kyrie Irving will not be on the court as a member of the team for foreseeable future, stating that he was being forced to sit out for at least 5 games. The team announced his departure in a statement per NBC News, saying, over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and the danger of his words and actions, which began with his publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate. They added, we believe that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one, and thought that we had made but we made progress with our joint commitments to eradicating hate and intolerance. However, the team shared that they were left disappointed by how Irving had failed to vehemently say he doesn't have anti-Semitic views, right? So let's look at that, man. I want to shine light on something in a minute. Let me read this a little bit. Irving had previously spoken about his controversial promotions of the movie in a follow-up tweet after deleting the initial post which linked to the movie. He wrote on October 29th, I am an omnis, and I meant no disrespect to anyone religious belief. The anti-Semitic label that is being pushed on me is not justified and does not reflect the reality or truth I live in every day. I embrace and want to learn from all walks of life and religions. He then added, and cross fingers emoji and infinity symbol of an emoji. So my thing is that, what's the difference right here? Nebuchadnezzar created an image, right? And he told everybody that he was controlling, which is pretty much all the known world at the time, I made this image and everybody gonna bow down to it. It wasn't him, it wasn't Yahweh, it wasn't the image of Yahweh. He didn't create something else and he wanted them to bow down to it. So what's the difference now with Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? They refused to do it. And they put him in the fiery furnace. Here we go, same thing. Most High said the old paths. It's the same thing. And he created all this, these Jews that ain't the real people and all that, and the man ain't going for it. So just like with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and Daniel, it's repercussions. So here we go again right here. So even with Kanye. So what happened? He said he dealing with the old past. He came and delivered. So what happened? These clowns forced his hand. They forced his hand. When they tried to kill Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they forced him to show up. Okay? Let that front make. So look at this. We're gonna look over here right quick. This Kanye West. Kanye West reveals a specific reason he refused to take medication. See that? Well, they trying to get him to take medication. Right? Anybody with any kind of sense can see the man. Ain't nothing wrong with the man. He's a genius. So it says in 2016, Kanye West was diagnosed with TDL. This is what I'm telling you about what they got telling you. This is what they speaking. So he says in 2016, Kanye West was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after a psychiatric episode landed him into the hospital. But since then, he's openly talked about being on and off of medication. The former billionaire, who now goes by Ye, has been both praised and criticized for how he talks about his own mental health. But his latest revelation is a concerning insight into why he's against medication. Check this out. I want you to check this out now. Okay. So I said, it says Kanye West claims he refused to take medication because he was misdiagnosed with bipolar. He claims he was mentally misdiagnosed and forcibly drugged to be turned into a manageable celebrity. Don't they do the same thing in the prison? Right? Okay. He says he made the claim in a tweet which contained a screenshot of text with his former personal trainer. Right? Okay. 1 minute. Okay. So it says screenshots of a conversation between Ye and his personal trainer Harley. Check this out. Pastor Nat. That's an Edomite to me. I don't know what everybody else sees. That's an Edomite who happens to be Jewish. Show a particular hostile approach to Ye's mental instability. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you one of a couple of ways. Pastor Rick, I can't say that name, allegedly text him. The first option includes loving and open conversation where it seems like passionate wants to dive into a fact and not some crazy stuff that that's dumb friends of yours told him. So he's telling them that Kanye conversing to him about Israelites and that whole conversation, but he's saying that he ain't trying to hear it. It's dumb stuff. But anyway, so we see right here, it's nothing new under the sun. Same thing happened with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when you rightly divided with the thinking like a Hebrew. Yeah, that's it right here. But like I said before, he showed up. They forced his hand. They forced the Lord of his hand. They forced his hand. So what you think gonna happen? You think that they're gonna all of a sudden they escalating. These ain't the last two Negroes they gonna try to shut down. I showed you when we first started how they looking at four black people gonna end up being they highly favored to win in the election, and they're gonna have positions that never before been held by black men. That's all you see in all over the place is Negroes rising up. The hand of the Most High. So that's what this is about. They're using these two dudes, just like they did with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, as examples. But they brought the drum and the pain on their own self when they did it. That's what we have right now. Okay, they thinking that is business as usual. This ain't 1970. Most High prophecies that came to a head. This ain't 1970, 1960. It's hammer time. Okay. So Shaq jumped into the conversation, right? Shaq jumped into the conversation. The reason why they wasn't going to really even do anything to Kyrie Irving when it pertained to the NBA. But Shaq and Barkley jumped in the conversation. Now the man got paid $500,000 and he got to miss 5 games. They starting out with 5 games, right? So let's look at the situation with Shaq.
Thing out of the word promotion. That is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this. That tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel? Look, if he keeps making a big thing out of the word promotion, that is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel? Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel? Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel? That is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel?
I was probably one of the first guys on Twitter. And when I realized the power it had, I knew I had to be very responsible. Followers, platform, whatever you call it, I knew I had to be responsible. I try to make people happy. I try to make people smile. My formula has always been the same: 60% to make you laugh, 30% to inspire you, and 10% whatever I'm selling. You have to be aware of what you're doing. And you have to be aware that sometimes when you put stuff out, not everybody's gonna like it. Some people are conscious, some people are not. I can tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on. But I know that the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
Shalom, shalom, Hebrews. Ron Dalton Jr. giving you a special announcement. This Thursday coming up, we're going to be at the Cityplex 12 Theater in Newark, New Jersey. If you haven't seen the first movie, well, actually, if you haven't seen the second movie, but you've seen the first movie, you need to come out to the Cityplex 12 Theater in Newark, New Jersey. We're going to be showing the movie Hebrew Israelites 2, Revelation, the Age of Awakening, hosted by the Bethel International Church under Dr. Gloria Harris. You want to come out, get your tickets before that date because we have limited seats that are available. And you want to get your tickets early so that when you come to the door and try to get tickets, you're not going to be told that it's sold out. So I'm going to say it again. This Thursday coming up in Newark, New Jersey, August 22nd, Thursday, Newark, New Jersey. Want to come out to the Cityplex 12 Theater, Newark, New Jersey. Want to come out to the Cityplex 12 Theater, Newark, New Jersey. Want to come out to the Cityplex 12 Theater.
And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. We got to answer for what this idiot has done. We got to answer for what this idiot has done.
This is Hoppin' Bob. You run afoul of Bob, you run afoul of me. You run afoul of Bob, you run afoul of me. I'm tired, boss.
He said it's too hot, boss. He's tired.
Too hot? He tired.
Uh-huh.
You tell that lazy jigaboo the state of Mississippi I ain't interested in his meteorological assessment.
Listen up, jigaboo. State of Mississippi ain't interested in your meteorological assessments.
You tell him the state of Mississippi is only interested in getting this here ditch cleared by sundown.
State of Mississippi want this here ditch cleared by sundown. You got that, boy.
Got it. He don't sound like he from around here.
He from New York City, boss. He from New York City, boss. He from New York City, boss.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the, Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According.
Okay. And this song. So anybody got any comments or questions for me? I don't think they need no comments. But anybody got any questions or comments about anything before we go? No questions or comments? Nothing in the chat? Okay. Everybody good? Yeah, you see what's running down along the bottom of the screen, right? You see what's happening. Yeah. So I got, I'm dealing with Shiloh. I don't know if anybody has been on there, you know, trying to, a city of refuge, a place of refuge for things that's getting ready to happen. Okay. So with that being said, I want to say, let me get this. Shalom. Shalom. And another shalom. I'll see everybody this evening at 6 o'clock to close out the Sabbath class. So I hope you have a good Sabbath day.